Now, there is a bill pending in Parliament now, which is called the Interstate Succession Bill of 2025. That bill is seeking to repeal or entirely revoke the existence of the law we call the Interstate Succession Act of 1985. What you and I learned from basic school and from social studies to be the PNDC Law 111.
I'm going to see all of you. All my haters. I'm the new law in... Hey.
Kasongo ye Mombali nanga. Kasongo mbona wewe.
You seem surprised. Don't be. Yes, I'm the new lawyer in town. And I'm going to sue all of you. I hope you are all ready. Anyways, my name is Christian and this is makit.legal. You'll be asking, what do we do here? So on this particular channel, we teach, we educate, we inform people about the law, what to do and what not to do. See, don't wait to get into trouble before you start learning about the law, because there is a saying that goes like, ignorance of the law is of no excuse. You cannot give any excuse for your ignorance. So please, run to this channel where we give you quality education on the law. We break everything down into pieces for you to understand it. Thank you very much. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe, like, share it with your friends, family, everybody, because everyone needs to know the law. Once again, my name is Christian and this is makit.legal.
Make it legal.
Now, there is a bill pending in Parliament now, which is called the Interstate Succession Bill of 2025. That bill is seeking to repeal or entirely revoke the existence of the law we call the Interstate Succession Act of 1985. What you and I learned from basic school and from social studies to be the PNDC Law 111. We want to talk about some of the new things that have been introduced by this bill. Now, I want to single out how this bill treats houses owned by persons who die without making a will. Or we say someone dies without making a will, we say the person dies intestate. So we are looking at how a house of a person who died without making a will is divided or distributed in accordance with the old law as well as the new law. Now, the old law simply says that in section 4, where the person dies without making a will and the person has only one house, that one house would of course go to the surviving spouse and children, or to the surviving spouse alone, or to the children alone if they are alive. And then whatever remains will be shared in accordance with the formula prescribed by the same law. But when it comes to houses, the law requires that if, for example, the person who died, the deceased person, has more than 2 houses, the deceased spouse and children will choose one, and the remaining one will be divided in accordance with the formula provided in the PNH Law 1. How that this new law proposed to distribute house or houses owned by a person who died without making a will. Now let's look into that. Now, where the person who dies has only one house with other forms of properties, the law is saying that that one house will go to the surviving spouse and the surviving children 50-50. In other words, if he left behind a wife and children, the wife will take 50% of that single house and the children will also have the remaining 50%. So this applies if the person has both the spouse and the child alive, 50-50. Now, what if the person has a spouse alive, parent alive, but no child alive?
Hello guys, welcome to makit.legal channel. I'm Tina. Please, I urge you all to kindly subscribe, like, share, and also invite all your family members to also watch. Thank you and see you again. So I'm into catering services. We do cakes, we do pastries, we do drinks, and we do food. So you can invite us to your wedding, your engagement, birthday party, office, wherever we will go. We are available. Just call us You will see my number on the flyer, or you can text out on WhatsApp. Kindly call us to be at your service so that we'll make your day wonderful. Thank you.
The law says that in those instances, the spouse should take 75% and the parents of the deceased person will take 25%. What if the person died without having a spouse? I mean, the spouse predeceased him or her. The law says that 75% should go to the children and 25% to the parents of that intestate or deceased person who died without making a will. First of all, in terms of how the law devised this single house of a deceased person who died without making a will, what do you think about it? Do you think it's fair? You realize that it's entirely eliminated the family from the picture. The extended family is out of the picture now. It's solely left with the parents and the spouse and children of the deceased person. Do you think it's the way to go? Let me get your thoughts in the comment section. Now, what happens if the spouse who is alive now actually owns a part of that house with the deceased who is dead? The law is saying that where it is a jointly acquired property owned by husband and wife before either of them is dead, the one who dies will take his share as a joint owner, and that particular portion given to the deceased estate will now be divided in accordance with this law. That is how it is. So if the man has two houses and they are jointly acquired properties of the couple, the law is saying that the couples would share 50-50 as a presumption of law. The woman will take the 50% first and now go and take a part of the deceased estate's share. That is quite fair. It recognizes joint ownership of properties by couples, so it is still quite progressive. Now, what happens if there are multiple houses? Let's say there are about two houses or two or more houses. What happens? Now, the law is that, first of all, where there are more than two houses, the spouse will still pick one of the houses, and the children would also come together if there are more than one and also pick one house, first of all. What if there are more than two houses and there are multiple spouses? So there are a lot of women or wives of this particular person who died, and let's say he's a man and he has many wives and has more than two houses. What happens? Now, the law is saying that if it is practicable, each spouse must take one house, and then the children will come together and also take one. So if you are a man who is married multiple spouses or multiple wives, you have to always make provision for more houses for these spouses, so that there won't be any difficulty as to a spouse choosing a particular house as hers. So that is something you need to know. That is the rule. The law says that when there are more than two houses and there are multiple spouses, each spouse is expected to pick one house, and the children would be together and also pick one house. Now, what happens if there are multiple spouses and the houses are fewer than the number of spouses the person had while he was alive? The law is saying that when it's like that, the children will be given priority to choose one house first, and then whatever houses remain, if the wives of the deceased person are say 5 and he left only 4 houses, the children will choose one. The remaining 3 will be shared equally among all the spouses or all the wives that he had. That is how the law wants it to be distributed. What happens in all of these when there's a dispute over which house to choose or which house not to choose? The rule is that the surviving spouse always have priority, and they would always be permitted to choose first. This is what the law is saying about how houses or house owned by a person who dies without making a will would be treated or distributed to the surviving spouse and children. It entirely excluded the family from the share of a house or houses owned by the deceased person. This is what the new bill is seeking to introduce. When it is passed into law, this will become the new PND's Law 101, and it will be called the Intestate Succession Act of 2025. And it will be applicable to all deceased persons who died without making a will. But you know what? If you don't want this law to apply to you, you can make your own will and decide how your property to be shared among your spouse or your children or your friends or siblings, whoever you please. Now, if you find this video useful, you want to give us a like and share it as well, and also do us a favor by subscribing to the channel. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. I'm Godin Selassie Dakbo, and this is Make It Legal.
Hello guys, welcome to Make It Legal channel. I'm Tina. Please, I urge you all to kindly subscribe, like, share, and also invite all your family members to also watch. Thank you and see you again. So I'm into catering services. We do cakes, we do pastries, we do drinks, and we do food. So you can invite us to your wedding, your engagement, birthday party, office, wherever we will go. We are available. Just call us. You see my number on the flyer, or you can text out on WhatsApp. Kindly call us to be at your service so that we make your day wonderful. Thank you.
Make it legal.